to me, it's a classic sounding country record.
Yeah.
And, there's room for all different types of genres of country as well. But I thought there was a big, huge open door for women to come in and sing songs in the vein of a Tammy Wynette or a Loretta Lynn, and just talk about everyday life.
It gets 90s country there for a bit too, and I'm partial to that era in a big way. I'm really partial to the Judds and Reba and Martina and Trisha and that kind of those ladies too. So it definitely has a toe in that era, which I just love. Even some 80s, it's a
multi-generation, yeah, multi-decades
incarnations of country music.
I love it. With the message that kind of there's room for women as well. You guys aren't asking for more, you're asking for, the same. Have you seen a little bit of a ripple effect from the movement of the Highwomen, at least?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, particularly conversation.
Yeah, conversation. Charts are looking a little better these days. There have been some new girls who have made it up to number one recently, which is unheard of. And, so that is encouraging. Could there be more? Absolutely. But we're happy that it's steadily, it's helping at least. You know what I mean?
It is helping. It also brought outside eyes from outside of the genre toward the genre, made people that didn't think that they liked country music maybe take a second look at it. And then it made them notice that there was a major issue within the genre. And that's a big deal, when outside eyes came into the genre and people were like, what is going on? Ellen DeGeneres was talking about it on her show, and Zane Lowe is talking about it. And people are bringing this up and going, wow, I didn't realize that there was this disparagement until, we started talking about it with the Highwomen, and we got such great press. And honestly, we did everything that I wanted to do. And and it just keeps getting better, just keeps becoming a bonus. What I didn't expect to see was how it would get pulled into the center lane and appreciated by all kinds of people. Mm-hmm. And that is what I think I'm probably most proud of as a member of the band.
Yeah, I wanna have with a crowded table.
The song Crowded Table came out to the public in July, and it can have its own meaning for me. I kind of took it that, we may not all agree on the same thing, we may have different beliefs or something, but there's room at the table. But now a year later, it's got a kind of life of its own as a songwriter. What's it like to see your song kind of being reborn into this whole different meaning?
Well, I think that's what is so great about songs, is that they do take on different meanings over time. A great example of that is even just Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You. She wrote that for Porter Wagoner, but it ended up being in one of the biggest movies ever, and it became people's love songs and things that they would dance to at weddings. Mm-hmm. Honestly, that's the greatest reward of being a songwriter, is to see it take on a different form. It doesn't happen all the time either.
That's when you've really done it right. And that's the kind of songwriter that Natalie is. And Natalie and Laurie McKenna wrote most of that song. I just changed a line and they were kind enough to make me a songwriter on it. But
we know that Brandi's a great, amazing songwriter.
That's what a great songwriter does, is their narrative, it works in almost every era. That's what timelessness is. When you think about Bob Dylan's, the times are changing, and you think about it in context with climate change, or with the way that, millennials have been so criticized by the older generation. And, over the course of the last few years, particularly, you see that song has just never become irrelevant. Crowded Table is like that. So it works when it's about differing views coming together at a table. And then it works when it's about people not being able to be together because of this quarantine.
It must be like you kind of deflected and told me about how other artists have done it and how it's taken it. But for you as the artist, I know you're both very humble. I know you're both very humble. But to see it now being the inclusiveness and giving us all kind of hope in such a weird time, can you be honest, feels a little bit good that you're helping us all?
Yeah. Oh, it feels awesome. Like, I cried at the Campbell's commercial.
So me too.
It was and honestly, it just made me want to go see my relatives and hug everybody like old times. But no, it's an amazing feeling, honestly. And when I see like little kids singing it with their parents, and you know, people were playing that song around Thanksgiving, and I kept getting texts from people and that sort of thing. I don't know. Yes, it feels amazing.
I really loved it when I saw it being sung in churches, people singing it in church.
Yes.
Because it was just such a sign that, you know, spiritually we're moving towards inclusivity as a people.
We
For
have to
sure.
talk about the album and the rest of the writing though, because you also take on tougher topics from sexism, racism, immigration, and those topics are being sung about and discussed as well. So as songwriters, you're broadening it besides just, you know, trying to get women on radio, but these topics as well. Those aren't easy to write about.
I
They're
find
not.
it hard not to write about. I think if you have to really make an effort not to write about that stuff when it's really just a constant theme, you know, for me anyway.
Well, the Highwomen was that song was very well written though, and Amanda and Brandi wrote that song, rewrote the song with the permission of the original songwriter. But it was just interesting how it's hard to take a hard topic like that and hard worldviews like this and bring them together in a beautiful light. And I feel like they really did a great job at that, without being too it's like preaching, but not being too preachy, but have an understanding and a heart to it. You know, that's a very
you have
it's not
to have
easy thing.
you have to have a real understanding of a middle ground. You can't fake it. People will know if you're faking the ability to see views 360 degrees. And so you actually have to have the ability to do that, to write like that. And I think that, you know, we have the ability to do that. We understand lots of people. There's room at the table for a lot of different kinds of people. Having said that, I'm shameless about writing about my own personal take on things in politics and in life, which are the same thing.
But Natalie, there's no way to like describe your voice, because I loved your debut solo album. And it's like,
Thank you.
you have like a voice that's like sexy butter.
Yeah,
And
I love
sexy
sexy.
now. I love Hemby's voice. She's so 90s, and that is the coolest shit to be right now. But it's just natural in her, you know. It's like no affectation, really pipey and big. Like it's not a kid. It's not a kid thing. It's like a real. She sounds like a woman. Wait till you
I call it. It's sort of husky Hemby. Is what I call it. So.
it's better than sexy butter.
In 1 second, I'd know it was you. You have a distinctive, once-in-a-lifetime voice.
Well, that is you, my friend. Okay. That is you.
I like you guys support each other. But Natalie, are you going to do another album? I'm sorry, I love the first one.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. I'm gonna put it out next year. I mean, that was my full intention even before COVID-19. But no, I'm basically making a 1990s Lilith Fair, like every 90s person I worship, I kind of record. So that's what it is. And maybe would you say? I know. Yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be good. So it's called Pins and Needles.
Brandi, are you and the twins working on something?
Oh my God, we're working on a lot of things. We're finding this to be just a really exciting time and a renewal. And I know that is not the way it is for everyone, but we can't do anything else. And we are quarantined together. We all live on the same property. So we see each other every day. It's getting weird. And we're writing for our new record. We are putting together a live album, and we're getting ready to start a little variety show for our fan club.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
Our buddies, the Bramley.